The Columbia Regional Airport prides itself on being a quick and easy option for travelers. But boarding a plane here can get pretty messy when the weather gets bad. Last year, the Missouri Department of Conservation tested nearly 26,000 deer, just like this one, for chronic wasting disease. Josh Hughes was Missouri football's biggest fan. He attended as many games as he could, but he couldn't make it here tonight to NRG Stadium. Amazon authorizes your delivery remotely and then turns on Cloud Cam to make sure everything's done safely. So the wet roads could really start to get icy here, but there is salt and sand on the road. But rather than have me tell you, I'm here with Tom Brembaugh. A Montauk County woman told me she was given quite the scare this morning. She was laying down watching TV when all of a sudden she heard a loud crash followed by sirens. Despite the initial shock, she was glad it happened where it did, for both the police and the suspects. Early this morning, Boone County police were led on a high-speed chase. It started along Highway 87 and ended right here in Sabrina Worster's pile of walnut shells in her front yard, which stopped them from colliding into a tree.
I was watching some TV and I heard some sirens, so I walked out of the bedroom and my front room was lit up with blue and red lights, so I opened up the front door and that's when I'm thinking, what in the devil?
It's no surprise that dogs can make a huge difference in the lives of their owners. I spoke to one Columbia woman whose dog gave her the will to live, which she says was enough to save her life. Nearly 4 years ago, Linda Bonebreak was ready to give up. It was here that she learned her body had become septic. Months of severe pneumonia had weakened her body. Her chances of survival were slim. Until her buddy Marshall rejoined her side.
Well, Marshall saved my life a few times because I was giving up. The pain was so bad. It gave me the motivation to keep going.
After spending nearly 8 years together, Linda and Marshall and Linda, taking pictures and making memories everywhere they went, the two were inseparable.
This one was hilarious.
Suddenly, Marshall was in need of Linda's help.
Marshall had a lot of health issues toward the end of his life, and luckily she was healthy enough to help him through those health issues and be by his side just as he was for her.
Marshall lost his battle and left Linda's side November 16th.
It's been a real struggle. It's still pretty fresh, and he was my family.
Linda wants to open her heart again to another dog, but isn't quite ready.
Linda doesn't feel like she's ready for another dog right now because, of course, no one will ever replace her dog, Marshall. I mean, that dog will have a piece of her heart that she'll never get back.
Linda hopes in the future to foster dogs so she can save them in honor of the dog that saved her. I spent the morning on the Senate floor in Jefferson City, and tensions were high. The session itself only lasted for about 45 minutes before being adjourned early because of the weather. Senators are divided over the political implications of Governor Eric Greitens' admitted affair and alleged blackmail. The woman involved in the affair said Greitens took a nude photo of her and threatened to spread it if she ever told anyone. Lawmakers agree the claims against Greitens are troubling. Where they differ is on how best to move forward. Republican Senator Doug Libla is leading the campaign, asking the Attorney General to take over the investigation. He says premature judgment on anyone's part is foolish.
We need to get to moving forward on the investigation and determine what the validity is of those allegations. You know, you need to have evidence, you need to prove the evidence before someone's guilty. And I know lots of times we like to jump to conclusions, and I'm not on either side.
Across the aisle now, Democratic Senator Jamila Nasheed called for the governor's resignation on Twitter and said these allegations must be taken seriously.
Now, some of you say that those are our only allegations, but I don't know any woman would just go to her husband and lie about having an affair with another man and how it happened.
Senator Caleb Rowden of Columbia released this statement. It says the allegations leveled against Governor Greitens are absolutely appalling. I urge the appropriate law enforcement officials to conduct a thorough investigation. I'm calling on Governor Greitens to be honest and forthcoming. If the allegations are proven to be true, he must seriously consider whether or not he has a mandate to lead. Now, no timetable has been set on the investigation moving forward, but every senator I spoke with today told me that they hope this situation resolves itself quickly so they can get back to work and start the year productively. In the studio, Justin Kollar, KOMU 8 News.